All right.
The quick brown
Right.
fox,
Jumped over.
the Sailor Moon.
All right. I'm going to start.
All right.
Hello and welcome to Paragraph Despair. I'm Kris.
And I'm Anton.
For those of you new to the show, we have about 3 topics we're going to discuss, give our thoughts, play a game. We keep score, and everything's a game.
Mm-hmm.
What's the score right now? 10-10. Because
10
last
to
episode
10.
we had no points.
No points.
We forgot the entire premise of the show for one episode. And then afterwards, we're like, all right, we got to have, we have points. Yeah. So now there's, now we're just going to be giving out points all episode. And yes, if you guess the number I'm thinking of between 1 and 5, you get a point.
5.
Yep.
Are you just making that up?
No, you got it.
Wow. I just know that you think big.
Yeah, that sound was the me adding a point to Anton's score. Anton is winning.
We should have a sound effect for that. Let me write that down.
It could be boing.
Oh, no.
But if we just had really cheesy radio morning DJ, yeah. And then we talk about really depressing like things like, is life really worth it? And then all right, first segment today. Oh boy, this is one that neither of us are probably well informed or prepared, or generally just good people. Probably shouldn't be like, this isn't your default go-to area to learn about COVID conspiracies, but we're going to talk about it.
I think,
and not even really COVID conspiracies, mostly just Joe Rogan and Spotify.
Yeah, I think it actually goes with the territory for us to be ill-informed about talking about this.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, my audio. There we go. That just makes me louder.
Oh, weird.
All right. Yeah. So if you heard the news, everyone's like, hey, Joe Rogan, what's up? Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
And Spotify's like, I'm sorry, but we love money.
Yeah.
And we're not going to even dip our toes into the most recent Joe Rogan controversy, because we thought about this before that. So
how did you first hear about this?
What?
About this whole thing? How did you first hear about it?
I don't know. I think it just popped up in news feeds. And then I was watching, I watch a music reviewer YouTube channel, mm-hmm. Anthony Fantano,
mm-hmm.
The Needle Drop guy. I think that's his last name. I forgot, but and he made a video about why he's leaving Spotify, and it was pretty on point. Although I get Spotify for free, so I don't complain.
Well, why do you get it for free?
Because Tawny gives the family plan.
Oh, okay. So you get it for free, but your family still pays.
Spot on the boat.
Me and Alyssa both independently pay for HBO, and we need to stop doing that.
I feel like that's a really glaring administrative error on your part.
We're a dysfunctional family.
I'm very good at managing all my subscriptions. I got a system. It works. I don't have too many. I cycle through them.
It's good.
But
Yeah.
that's a different topic.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, how'd you hear about it?
I scroll through YouTube quite often, and I
You went
saw
down the
some
rabbit hole?
headline. What?
You went down the YouTube rabbit hole?
Oh yeah, constantly. But my YouTube rabbit hole is ridiculous. But I saw that Neil Young was taking his music
Oh yeah,
off of
I heard about that.
Spotify, and um, then I saw shortly after Joe Rogan's handheld camera response. Have you seen this?
No.
Okay, I'm an expert on this.
What's Joe Rogan's response to this?
Joe Rogan's response was basically, I feel like this was what thought through, because it's like that handheld, like TikTok style, hey, I'm real sorry, kind of response. He was outside.
Sorry, fans.
Yeah, he was outside somewhere.
I'm so sorry.
Effectively. Basically, he said he understands why people are upset. He's a big fan of Joni Mitchell and Neil Young, and he was really bummed out that they feel that way and taking their music off of Spotify. And he said that effectively the machine is bigger than him now. Like the show is bigger than him. It's hard for him to control it. But at the same time, he said, I schedule all the guests. So he picks these people to come on his show. Yeah. And I don't think we covered this yet, but effectively the controversy, among all other controversy about Joe Rogan, is that he had folks come on his show that were there was a doctor who was a specialist in mRNA vaccines.
I heard about that guy.
Yeah. And he had a few specialists come on that had controversial opinions compared to the general science body about vaccines. And people are upset that he gave space for them to share this. And Joe says, I understand that people are upset about this. I do think that we should have all voices heard on some of this stuff, because these are effectively scientists in the field. And he said that what he wishes he had done, or plans to do going forward, is that if he is going to have someone with a controversial opinion, that he would locate or schedule another person who has the other side, like the more mainstream opinion, afterward or around the same time.
I feel like there's a problem with that, though. Do you agree?
I'm maybe thinking of a different problem. What is the problem you're thinking of?
Well, the problem with how you combat disinformation or incorrect, I guess, theories on certain scientific matters. It takes more energy to respond to these than it does for the people to make the claims.
Okay, we're on the same page. Yeah.
And so if you're not prepared, it's going to make you look wrong, even though you're not wrong. You just don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I think it's very easy for anybody to make any crazy claim. There's an infinite number of claims you can make about something. And if we have to give the floor to all of these things to dismiss them one by one, it's going to be a lot of noise.
But isn't that so, which is the hesitancy of why a lot of scientists don't do these types of shows, because if they're asked a question that they're not prepared for, it's going to make everything that they've kind of worked or stand in front of appear wrong, which isn't the case. But if you respond and ask them a question on this thing that doesn't even really make sense, but they just don't happen to know about it, most scientists are going to be like, well, I just don't know. They're confident and okay with saying that, and there's nothing wrong with that either.
Yep. And I think that's the problem, is people want scientists to have all the answers, but that's the whole point of science, is we don't.
Right.
And that we are very careful about how we get the answers, so that when we have them, we are confident in them.
Yeah.
Versus intuition and guessing. And it's a slow process, but it's, in my opinion, a good process. And it's nice that we have a large population and a large number of scientists that can work on these things in parallel so that we can combat the slowness, I guess.
Yeah. I also kind of, I mean, I don't really feel sympathetic to Joe Rogan, but I understand where he's coming from, where how he was a comedian that just started a chat podcast show.
Yes, that was his angle when
totally,
his little confessional thing.
I totally understand that it has grown into something massive that just has to be like, you know, you can't scale. Like, if you think of a podcast as a digital product, you can't scale it to that height without running into, you know, issues.
Yeah.
And I think if you're handling it the same way that he handled his podcast 10 years ago, you know, he's not prepared for these types of things. It's not like he just does what he does.
Yeah.
There's really no, you know, rhyme or reason to it.
That was his angle exactly. It was basically like, I started this podcast for fun. It was small. It was things I wanted to talk about. And it's a good question. Like, at what point does it become your responsibility to change why you got into this in the first place? Like, if he was just some random person having a podcast and pulling anybody on, who cares? Nobody's listening to you.
Right.
But now that a lot of people are listening to you, are you responsible for changing tack and how you approach your show?
Right. I think there's a responsibility once you start navigating an audience or influencing an audience, that where you are now not controlling, but influencing decisions of a large portion of the population, that just comes with responsibility, whether you like it or not.
Sure.
You know, like a lot of people have started things for other reasons and have gone into that and handled it differently. But you have to take responsibility for what you created. I don't think there's anything other than around that.
I think the challenge there, and I see it a lot, is like, if what made his show appealing in the first place is that he has these different opinions, and then if he has to tweak it to become more and more in line with consensus as time goes on, is it even really the same show anymore?
Right. It's not what he originally has decided to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, if his guest was, you know, Bill Burr and he's just listing stuff off the top of his head, I'm not going to read too much into it.
Yeah.
And I like Bill Burr. But if you're having people that make claims is such as what the doctor had said, you know, I think that's when the responsibility kicks in.
Do you think there's such a thing as dangerous? Like, do you think this is dangerous to say, like, this stuff?
Like, I don't know.
Do you know Noam Chomsky? He talks a lot about having an intellectual self-defense, which would be nice to be like trained in schools.
Yeah.
So that people, like, I feel like we should be able to have Joe Rogan say whatever he wants. I think, but the problem is that if people
we didn't raise our society that way.
Exactly. Like, if everybody's taking things as like face value and not critically like processing it, that's where the risk comes from.
Yeah, I actually don't have, like, I guess I kind of agree. I mean, I guess I have issues with it, but I agree that we should be able to have that sort of discourse and have I don't care how crazy you are, be able to have their platform. But we didn't prepare. People aren't media literate. Like, people don't really understand. And I think that's when you have the issue of whether or not a person or a platform have to take editorial responsibilities. Because I mean, you're releasing something into the public that's cause and effect. Like, you're altering people's lives,
right?
And if those actions of, you know, if people are taking actions based on the words that someone else have said, and then those actions then affect my life indirectly, like, you cause that.
Yeah.
You know.
in my opinion, all the right things are happening here. Meaning,
Mm-hmm.
I think Joe Rogan should be able to do whatever he wants. I think the musicians who disagree can do whatever they want and take their music off.
Right.
And like, because they're also communicating, I don't agree with this. I think that this person is wrong. These don't make sense to me. This is stupid. I want to get my word out with my amount of power and publicity. Yeah,
that was part of the video I watched on YouTube. The music reviewer, it was not entirely because of Joe Rogan's guest or any of that. It was kind of the last straw on a lot of things that were wrong with Spotify. Mostly in terms of royalties and paying their artists fair wage for their work, and then also not using that money to invest in defense companies, like war defense companies. Like that's what the CEO of Spotify has been doing.
Really?
Yeah, he's been like investing in like war defense. I don't know. It's really weird.
Interesting.
Isn't
it like a Swiss company or Swedish? Swiss?
Yeah, somewhere Nordic. Yeah, I don't know. Swiss, Sweden maybe. Yeah. But if I'm all for people leaving that if it's like a combination of things. But do you think platforms are ultimately responsible?
What is this for? What does that mean?
Do you feel like Spotify should be taking action against someone in that position?
I think it comes down to
without the caveat of like, media literacy.
It's a tough age-old
question. Too tough to call.
Yeah, honestly, like I would rather have a world where people can say whatever they want, knowing that you're going to suffer consequences for what you say. Like, if you say something and it is incorrect or offends people, they're going to retaliate, and there's consequences too in what you say, that it, because people maybe aren't media literate, or have that intellectual self-defense, myself included. I'm not any specialist in this stuff. There's plenty of times I probably read something and incorporate it into my way of thinking without actually like asking, why was that proposed approach like a good one? Like, people read self-help books all the time and that kind of stuff. Like, are those things actually effective? It's that age-old question of like, should people be responsible for themselves, when the reality is they likely should I be able to eat a cheeseburger even though it's going to give me a heart attack, I guess.
Yeah, too tough to call. I just give up. We don't have anyone on following us, so we can say whatever we want.
Yeah, I think I would err on the side of they are not. In terms of responsible, they will suffer any consequences of this. Yes, they made exclusive deals. So Joe Rogan's podcast is only available on Spotify right now. So effectively, anything he says is going to be tied back to them, and any consequences from that, they will suffer. So if they want to say, as a business, we don't like this, then they can let him go. If they don't want to do that, I think it should be up to them. Like, everybody's responsible for everything you do, I guess.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I think that's the end of the segment.
Sure.
I don't know. I feel like there's just too much to really talk about on this.
The closing thought I would have is it's nice that people are talking about this.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's so many kind of these ethical dilemmas in the modern age. that we just don't know. We don't know how to handle. There's never been a precedent for this.
Like for misinformation on this scale?
Right.
On the scale, yes, but I think misinformation's been around forever. Like,
oh yeah, that has been around forever.
There's
still a book I wanted to read about like the history of like old conspiracy theories and stuff like that. I mean, a lot of them still, even the COVID ones are just like basically turn of the century anti-Semitic conspiracy theories that are just reformatted.
I've been thinking about this quite a bit with like religion and believing in God and that kind of thing. And
yeah,
I think what it comes down to is the scientist argument is we can't prove that these things happen, but to anyone not doing the experiment, who's there on the ground doing the work, you can only take their word for it. So it's a form of belief, in my opinion, to believe scientists, etc. Yes, I can do the work. Yes, I can trust that, like, if our system is in place to make sure they get PhDs and it's peer reviewed and all that, blah, 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 blah. Yes, logically, Occam's razor, less likely to have false information. But at the end of the day, it's still me believing something that I haven't proved for myself in the same way anything else is. And I think that's the challenge in general for this stuff.
Okay.
That's my last thought.
All right. You get a point.
Okay. For what?
I just really agreed with you there.
All right. Sweet. I'll take 2 points today. Point sound effect. But don't God. All right. So the next segment is too many shows.
There's too many.
It's too many shows.
Just too many.
And you and I talked a little bit about this. So to just a level set, too many shows, meaning like we are inundated with media and high quality media at that. Like there's just too many things for me to keep up with. And you had a pretty strong opinion and theory for why this is the case.
Well, there's too much competition for our eyes. You know, whether it's social media, you know, online content, this content, podcasts, audio, TV, movies, Quibi.
Is that still there? Like still out?
No, they sold everything to like Roku or something. And then Roku just like turned them into regular movies or regular shorts. They totally got rid of like their whole thing. So yeah, I think that like that competition really just kind of I don't know, it's just kind of a free for all. But I think there's just especially with TV growing in the last 10 years, I think it's just such a good partnership with how we're just, you know, getting our content in terms of streaming and just having it, you know, subscription based streaming, you know, replacing most of television. I think it's just easier format to produce and more financially viable. And I think it's because there's this kind of shift, and a lot of people have talked about it like before in the last 10 years, but like, you know, we used to have these like movies, like movies used to be, I mean, 15 years ago, movies used to be just, there's such a variety of movies. There was like, so many different kind of movies. Now there's just, you know, tentpole movies that kind of make or break studios. Basically, they just dump $300 million because they'll know they'll get that the first weekend. Everyone's trying to do Spiderman, you know, but it kind of like people want that lower budget kind of story, but like that has all moved to television. It's easier because why would they produce something that really won't make a return at the movies, because it's not really being, you know, seen. No one's going to go to the movie to see, like, you know, even just like boring movies. Like or like uninterested, like not even just middle of the road movies.
Okay.
There's no point in producing that anymore. Just make it just tack on an extra 2 hours, cut it up, and then like sell it to a streaming service.
What's a kind of movie from the 90s that we just won't ever see again, in your opinion? Like it.
I think like a lot of kind of like things like, you know, Shawshank Redemption or The Green Mile, like
That
Stephen
would
King.
totally be a series.
I mean, even back then they would do mini series about like on Stephen King books, but like kind of dramas or thrillers or like anything kind of in that genre or subgenre, like it's just more like it makes more sense to do them as series.
For
Like
sure.
I don't see a point in making it a movie, although I'd rather see it as a movie, because every time I watch a show now, it's just a long movie. They try to end each episode on like a huh, and then it's just 6 episodes and you're done. But I'm like, why did I waste 6 hours watching this 2 hour movie? Sure, they, you know, elongated subplots of characters that really like, you know, had a minor role in the ending because they just needed to fill that time.
Sure. I think
it's all a racket and it's a big it's a conspiracy and I hate it. And no.
like for you, this is a bummer because you like these kind of movies that have now been elongated and you hate long things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly it. I feel like there was like just stupid 90s thrillers that I just really loved watching that totally didn't, like, no one cared about. I can't even name. I've seen so many. And I just won't get them anymore because it's just now I have to watch, you know, 8 episodes of it. Why? I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. It's true. Like, is there a space for those kind of things? I'm not sure. I mean, Netflix can make movies and they have.
Yeah, people still make movies
at that same
but,
budget point.
I mean, even like true to life movies, like I know Ben Affleck was on a podcast or something. I just heard a clip of him saying like Argo would not be made today.
Yeah.
Argo would have been would be a limited series right now because it's like one of these like, oh, they made a show. Like right now they're doing it with the, you know, Pamela and Tommy Lee story of like the sex tape that got uncovered. Like I feel like there's more examples of series that like now that I'm like, oh, that would have been a movie 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And you know, we just don't get those movies. They're series now.
Yeah.
It says Anton needs to call him out on this in the notes. So I don't know do you agree?
I'm thinking so I don't know a lot about this industry. I don't know how much it costs to make something. When somebody says like, oh, this thing costs a lot of money and this
costs
thing
like $3,000 to $5,000 to make a TV show.
Really? That much? Because like to me, it seems like these shows, it would be way more expensive to fill that much time.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know where the money goes. Like, is it CGI is super expensive? Is it locations is really expensive? I don't know what parts of
it's salaries, like actors and crew.
Okay.
And they're all union. So it's like, it's just it balloons up pretty quick.
So, I mean, if your argument is that these indie the money is equivalently just being spent on TV shows, I don't know that I would agree with it because like it seems like a TV show would be way more expensive to make just because of the number of hours you have to film.
I mean, depending on your release and like your your platform and how people interact with your platform, it's more financially viable because, like, let's say like Netflix releases like a series, like Stranger Things, like,
Sure.
and it just becomes a cultural phenomenon. And it just, like, I don't know, like, would, if Stranger Things have been is successful like streaming hourly as a movie compared to as an ongoing series that lasts, like, you're like, if you don't finish the show by the end of the month, you have to, you're paying for another month of Netflix. So like, if you're jumping in 3 seasons of Stranger Things and you can't want, you don't binge watch in time, you might be paying more money as opposed to just getting on Netflix, watching a movie and being done with it. Or
so the argument
like
is like it's more expensive, but the return is higher too, so they're willing to make the investment.
I think so.
Okay.
I'm just spitballing here.
Yeah.
Like, or if HBO, they release it once a week. So like, if you're releasing 8-week show, that's like 2 months of someone paying for a subscription.
Yeah, I'm so curious about like this whole world that we're in where Netflix and HBO are paying for all these shows that I'm not going to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, Hollywood was probably pretty formulaic too. Like, they knew these are the kinds of things that bring the money in, so we're going to invest in these kind of movies. It's got to be like that, but on steroids now, where what people are watching, what they hover their mouse over, what they click on and watch for 5 seconds. Like, they've got to know so much about individuals to be able to say, hey, we need a movie where somebody is a pumpkin farmer because we noticed that any thumbnail with a pumpkin in it is like way more popular or something.
Yeah.
So,
and I think, series keep people in the platform longer. That's what it's designed to do.
Exactly.
It keeps you in the ecosystem.
Because, I mean, at the end of the day, Netflix doesn't care they would actually prefer if you just gave them the money and didn't watch anything, because like, it's expensive to keep these servers up and all the crazy stuff that Netflix has to do. Right. Like, Netflix is a FANG company in the tech world, like FANG or the big companies. And a lot of people look to them for how to run stuff in the cloud because they had to do all this crazy stuff to make it work. So it's interesting. They must have some correlation that, like, the more people spend time watching Netflix, the more likely they are to keep paying for it. Therefore, we need to keep their eyeballs as much as possible. And if that's where the money is for directors and crew and all of that stuff, then I think it's just probably that's more of the forcing function than it is indie movies not being invested in as much or something. I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah. I just think everything's too long. I need less stuff.
Do you feel compelled to watch all this stuff? Is that the problem?
No, I don't feel compelled. Okay. Like, I started watching like a Netflix series, Archive 81, which apparently was based off of a podcast, which makes a lot of sense once you watch it. And like, there's certain aspects I like about it, but like, I just wasn't compelled. Like, I watched 2 episodes and then just forgot about it. But like, that's 2 hours. I could have watched the movie and it would have ended.
Yeah, we started watching Succession and I'm not hooked yet.
It's like, what do I want? Like, I don't think there's a character out there that I'm just like so interested to stick around for like days.
Sure.
I want to see what happens, and then, what was I think there's like aspects of like, film is just more interesting, is like a combination of things that you can experience in a shorter amount of time that is more interesting than like something in a series that just kind of drags on. And I don't think there's anything in a series that, like, sure, like certain things can't get explored in the amount of time of a movie, but like there's not any like themes that you can't get across in an hour and a half. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
Alyssa was blown away by this riveting discussion here.
Good.
Yeah. Though she can't hear what you're saying. I don't know what's going on over there.
I like that your hat matches the bed.
Can you? We're recording right now.
I should start making bets on how many times Melissa is going to interrupt the show.
She should. Yeah. We can make it like a banner for it too. Like, Melissa interruption. I don't know if there's anything more to say about it.
All right, we're done.
Yeah. Too many shows.
Next
topic.
Well, just in the same theme of TV shows, let's do a game.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a game for points. How many rounds are we getting?
10, maybe? What do you think?
It doesn't have to be an odd number.
You're always so good with this game stuff. Yeah, it should be an odd number.
Which
so
doesn't
we can
make
do
sense. But
maybe 37 rounds.
So you go from 10 to 37.
Yeah. It's a very good
jump.
odd number. I really like 37 because when you add the digits, you get 10.
Oh, okay. I see. You're not wrong. I say we do 11.
All right, 11.
Are you going to do the random year generating?
Yeah, I will run that.
You're the programmer.
I wrote a little snippet of code for us to obviously.
But you could just Google, right?
Yeah, there's definitely that. But the amount of time it would
you felt a need to work for this.
Yes. Yeah.
Because we have to do it.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but I really love random number generating utilities. Mm-hmm. Like I love writing them. They're fun.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say at the beginning of the show, but at the end of the show, we're going to announce our big prize winner.
Oh yeah. It won't just be us winning this game. So you want to explain what this game is?
All right, we're going to do we're going to do a random year generator. And then when we get that year, we each have to guess a show that either started or ended in that year.
Yeah.
And whoever gets it or is close, right?
If it's a tie,
we gotta get points, right?
Yeah. If it's a tie, we don't get any points. But whoever is closest, and you can go over. Mm-hmm. It's just we take the difference between the year and the year of the show that came out that we pick.
All right. I think we all get it.
All right.
We'll do 11 rounds, best of 11.
Yep. And the way we're doing this is we're going to pick the random number is between 1970 and today. Mm-hmm. So it could be any year between then. All right. Here we go. Round number 1. The year is 1973.
God. Oh, it's over 1970, right?
Yep, 1970 and above.
Happy Days.
Happy Days is you. That gave me a lot of help. I'm going to go with Laverne and Shirley.
All right.
Let's take a look. I'll look at Laverne and Shirley. You look at Happy Days. Laverne and Shirley, I think, was like a spin-off of Happy Days.
Oh, Happy Days, 1974.
Ho. You win then because Laverne and Shirley is 76.
Oh.
So you get a point.
It's round 1.
You're going to do the scoreboard?
Yeah, I'm keeping score.
All right, I'll do the number generator. All right, next round. 1970.
I think after the first 3, if they're all 1970s, we should do the 80s plus.
Yes, I will switch it if it keeps sticking around there.
1970. I don't. The Dick Cavett Show.
All right, I'm gonna go with Speed Racer. Did you look up Dick Cavett?
Yeah, mine's 1968.
Son of a gun.
Did I get it?
I'm 1967, so yeah, you get it again.
Good job, me.
We're not so far off. We're not doing too bad on this.
I think maybe just out of the funness of the next 9 rounds, maybe we should do over 80s now.
All right, let me just run it on its own and see what it gets. 2020. It's the next one.
It started or ended?
Started. Always got to be started.
If I thought we added the added rule.
Let me look what the rules.
All right, let's just do scratch that. Let's just.
You said or ended in the rules.
Let's just do start.
Okay, it's a lot easier to manage that way.
All right. It's not that long ago, but it seems like it is. That's when the world was taken over by a crippling pandemic.
Yeah.
I don't even know what came out that year. I don't even remember that year.
What about
this limited series
Netflix
count?
And stuff? We count that?
Yeah, if it's a show, right?
Yeah. All right.
I got mine. 1, 2, 3. Tiger King.
Bandersnatch.
Although is Tiger King a show?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has episodes and they're 45 minutes. Came out in 2020.
Oh, you win it again, man. You're good at this. Bandersnatch of 2018. I didn't realize it was so long ago.
All right. I only need 3 more to win it. Yeah, start catching up.
That's a good point. All right.
Oh, no. Wires.
All right. Next is 1993.
Late Night with Conan O'Brien.
Oh, okay. I'm going to go with The Simpsons.
No, that was definitely 80s.
Oh.
Late Night with Conan O'Brien, 1993.
Son of a gun. You're right about it. Simpsons is 89. All right, this is not a fun game for me, but we'll keep going. We'll see how we'll go all the way. You get a bunch of points. I don't see you updating the scoreboard.
Oh, I'm just doing it. I write it down. Old fashioned.
All right. 1985 is the next one.
Cheers.
Married with Children.
I was thinking that. Cheers is 82.
All right. Come on. Married with Children. Come on.
Need 3 or less.
Come on. 87. I got it.
You got it.
Yes.
Congratulations.
I got a point.
Wait, these aren't individual points that get added, are they? Or is it best out of 11 gets 1 point?
I think we should go individual points. This is
all right.
All over the place. This show is crazy. What number are we on?
Whoa, we got to be careful. We're giving up too many points here.
What number is this?
This is 6.
Okay.
We did 5.
Number 6, halfway through. 2004.
I got mine.
This is the year I graduated from high school.
I got mine. I'm probably wrong.
I'm going to go with The Office.
I'm going to go with Malcolm in the Middle.
And when I say The Office, I mean the American version.
We know. Malcolm in the Middle is 2000. Ooh.
Office is 2005.
Oh.
So I get the point.
All right. Anton's making a comeback.
Next is 92.
We can't reuse them, right?
No.
It's just the same show. Interesting, really exciting dead silence. Good for the podcast.
I know what I'm going with.
I don't know what I'm going with.
I
guess I'll say, what's yours?
Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, that's a good strategy. I forgot about Nickelodeon shows. That's a good time. I'm gonna go.
I gotta go with what I knew at the time. All right,
Nickelodeon off. 91.
91. It's a tie.
So no points.
No points. Interesting. I didn't realize they came out the same year.
Right. Round 8.
2021.
I watched an episode of Doug recently.
Yeah?
It didn't hold up.
I think I'm not going to watch Ren and Stimpy. I didn't even like it then. This is gross. 2021 is our next one.
Oh, that was last year.
Yeah.
I know. I got a show.
All right, me too.
Mayor of Easttown.
Okay, and mine is Euphoria. Oh no, I was way off.
Why was Euphoria? Because they're doing season 2 right now. So
yes, I would have thought season 1 came out last year, but it's apparently 2019.
Oh, Anton's not with it.
No.
You don't know what the Gen Zs are watching.
I'm watching Euphoria right now.
Mayor of Easttown 2021. So I got 5. You have 2.
Okay. Next up is 2017.
2017. I got mine. If we both guess the same thing, do we cancel it out and we have to start guessing another one?
If we both guess the same thing, yes.
All right.
Agent Carter.
Stranger Things.
Oh, you're right. Let's see.
Oh, 2016.
2015, so you get the point. We don't do the 70s anymore.
Nah, let's not do 70s.
All right. We didn't get in a lot of 80s. I'm going to keep going until I get in the 80s. Wow, it really doesn't want to give me 80s.
Or I didn't feel like we did a lot of 2010s.
87.
That's the year of my birth. I got mine.
I'm gonna go with Matlock.
Can I say The Simpsons?
I already said The Simpsons, so we know what year it came out. And you'd be off.
I was right. Wasn't it 87?
It was 89.
Oh. Well, never mind then. 87. Cops.
Ooh, not a bad guess.
89.
86. I get the point.
Ooh.
What are we on, round 10 or 11?
This is round 11. I already have 6, so I pretty much won.
Frick. But anyway, since it's for points, it doesn't matter. This is still good for me to catch up. Last one is...
Well, what is it?
1996.
Oh, shit.
Did we do that already?
I don't know. No, we didn't do 96. I have mine.
All right, I have mine. Spiderman, the animated series.
It's such a random one.
For you, it was pivotal.
I guess for me, I'm going to say The West Wing.
Oh, wow. I feel like that's way later, but You already said it.
99.
Oh, okay. Not that much later. 94. So I was only 2 off.
Yep. I went 11-4. Yeah, because there was a tie.
Yuck. Wow. I did that poor.
I mean, 6-4
Interesting.
out of 11.
I didn't realize Spider-Man came out in 94. That's really early.
So do I just get 2 points because they cancel out?
What do you mean?
Or do we add all the points?
We add all the points.
All right. So we're tied at 16.
All right. And now for one special round, guess the year that Power Rangers came out.
1993, the year of our Savior.
I'm going to go with 92. Well, it's hard to find. Oh, I need Mighty Morphin. What did you say?
93.
Man, you're good at this. It was exactly 1993. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
That's the first year they morphed.
Speaking of what we were talking about before, where they're just trying to like turn things into shows to make money. I don't know if you know the history of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but Haim Saban just bought a bunch of footage of a Japanese TV show and then spliced in
the Rangers
American actors scenes, and that's the show. Like he just bought on the cheap this old Japanese show.
That's how you business.
Yeah. It's different now, but like that's how it started. It's insane.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. And he's loaded now.
All right. I guess our special prize winner.
Oh yeah. Who is it?
Fred S.
Oh, did you just have a aneurysm?
Yeah. From Monterey, California.
Maybe we should write this stuff down so you don't have to recall it from memory and look off to the side.
No, I'm pretty sure it says it right here.
Is Monterey Fred what?
Frank.
Oh, it's Frank
S.
Frank S.
From Monterey, California.
I like that Frank doesn't want us to know his last name. Or maybe his name is
doesn't want to get
ESF.
hacked because he probably heard our last episode about me getting hacked.
Yeah.
And was like, I'm not giving away my last name.
You
They
probably
don't have to read it.
Doxed from this show, and that's how they got your credit card.
That's probably how they did it. They doxed me because I know too much.
You added the points up, and it's only 17-16.
Yeah, I'm winning.
You only had 7 points.
We were tied at 10. I gave you 2 at the beginning for some reason, and then I outscored you by 2.
Okay.
And then I got the bonus.
All right. So the score is 17 Kris, 16 Anton.
Your hands don't really add up.
No, I'm gonna put graphics there.
All right.
I have a whole editing day cut out for me to make this look good.
Cut out for you.
Yeah. I do puns without even realizing it's just in my DNA.
Those are really good.
It is.
Is there anything else that needs to be brought up to the attention of the board?
No. Oh, were we going to record something else too?
Like a bonus segment game?
Yeah. Do you
what was
remember
the game?
What that was? We should write stuff down.
Nah.
I don't remember.
Well, if we don't remember, then we don't care.
All right.
My email's up, and I just got some spam email. That's pretty good. It's I shouldn't click on it because I've already been hacked, but it's from this guy named Paul, but his email is jgarza20 blah 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 I don't want to give the whole email away.
Sure.
And Paul writes, I'm just wondering, is there any chance that you may remember the man in this picture? And then weird link.
We should just read spam as if it's our mailbag.
I have some good spam.
Well, it sounds like a segment.
For another day.
Yeah, for another day.
All right.
It's really sunny out. I'm excited to go outside.
It's 30 degrees.
27, according to my
Well, that's worse.
wrist. Yes, it is.
I gotta go check to make sure my car will start.
Oh, wow.
Been unattended for a while. All right. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Talk to you next time.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.